Some of you might know that I like weird games, or at least less popular ones, or some with unique designs or ideas, or those that take away my soul, you know. No? You don't? I have never mentioned that before? Huh. I actually thought I did, at least once, but anyway, Fretless, the Wrath of Riffson, falls in these categories. One look of the trailer was enough for me to be sold. I mean, having bit graphics is a good start. Gameplay looked quite interesting, but it all got overshadowed by the absolute banger music presented in this trailer. I mean, listen to this. On top of that, the game takes a single topic, that being music, and designs an entire world and plot around it. Which I am a huge sucker for, because it requires creativity to properly pull it off, but it also comes with a degree of humor that I really enjoy. It's the main reason why I love Tokyo Mirage Session so much, and Fretless, the Wrath of Riffson starts off on the right foot as well. Because, I mean, look at the title, its first signs of it are right there. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it and see what Fretless, the Wrath of Riffson has to offer. In Fretless, the Wrath of Riffson, you play as Rob, a passionate musician that wants to restore harmony to the world, which slowly lost its soul and got corrupted by an evil company called Super Metal Records. It tries to control the world via monstrous instrument-looking creatures for greedy profit, and everyone and everything that tries to change it has to be stopped. Their greed for money and control goes even as far as using a contest named Battle of the Bands to stop any promising musicians and steal their soul. But how is Rob going to restore harmony and stop this evil corporation? Well, simple, with a guitar and his love for music. Fretless is one of those games where one single topic gets used to completely create a world and story that revolves around it. As mentioned before, here it's music, and damn it, in my opinion, it's such a good topic to lend itself for something like this. Even if it makes the story and world sound a little bit simple and corny even. In fact, the game is very simple and corny, but in my opinion, it's in a good way as it manages not only to be consistent, but also doesn't overdo its corny jokes and references. And even when you don't get some of them, you are not instantly pulled out of the game itself. It keeps you in it, as the most immersive aspects do not depend on you getting a joke or reference. The most immersive aspects are the world building and graphics, as those are the ones keeping you in the game the entire time, as they are done so well. Every zone has such a clear identity that oozes a comfy vibe and atmosphere, but also is a little bit intriguing and interesting. And it is packed with fun little details that brings this entire world to life. It can be as simple as flowers making different tune noises when bumped into them, to large stone speakers that are rumored to originate from an ancient time, to one of my personal favorites, small smoke-shaped notes that pop up at waterfalls. It's so creative and full of character that it's quite a shame that the game is not bigger than this. I want to see more of what these devs could come up with, because this is definitely not the limit. Don't get me wrong, I know it's an indie game. They have to draw the line somewhere as their resources are limited. However, so far I have been more talking about the world building than the actual story. And I think there they draw the line a little bit too far when it comes to it. As compared to other aspects, the story seems to get a lot less of the love and details than the world building got, for example. It's not like the story is badly written or something, it's more like a large unbalance between the story and the other aspects of the game that slowly starts to creep in as you play through the game. It has some good commentary about corporations taking out the fun of something for the sake of greed, and I would call that very appropriate to put that topic in a game of all things. But it stays a lot simpler compared to something like the world building. Characters, while having a fun design, are also not memorable. They barely appear in the story, so you can't really make a connection with them. Nor can you really get into the story itself, because when it finally starts to pick up some pace, it's already ending. In the end, the story does its job well, and it fits into the game. but it is the one aspect that had more room to improve, or even just to be a little bit more than it is right now, in my opinion. But again, it wasn't a huge problem, and once I started dabbling into the combat itself, I forgot all about it. The devs thought it would be wise to go with a turn-based deck builder rhythm game, which to me sounded like a bit of a risky mix to make, but if you do it well, then surely it pays off, and here in Fretless, it definitely does. Combat is encounter based and starts whenever you bump into an enemy. From there you enter combat and the tone is set. Literally, your weapon is a guitar and you use music to fight your enemies. At the start you are given 6 riffs, which basically are cars that can deal damage, apply buffs or debuffs, or affect your instrument's gimmick. You are allowed to play up to 3 riffs in a single turn, which you have to pre-select. Once you made your choices, it's time for the game to become a rhythm game. Most attacks you do have a timing element built into them. When Rob flashes yellow, you have to press the action button to deal more damage. Same goes for incoming damage. When the enemy does an attack and it flashes yellow, you can time it to deflect half its damage. Now, that sounds pretty basic, yet Fretless had an amazing trick up its sleeves. The entire combat encounter is done at the beat of the battle music itself. Whenever you need to time an attack, you can almost fully depend on a second music layer that's placed right on top of the battle music to time correctly the QTEs. In some rare cases, I noticed certain enemies fall a bit short in this category, and for people whom are not really used to play QTE heavy games, it might be a bit of a struggle because there is a learning curve. But the large majority of the time it works fine and it's an absolute treat. Which more or less means that you have to listen and enjoy the music to perform battle in combat. Which is freaking great. I absolutely love this, and it's a very clever way to strengthen the theme of the game itself. But it also just adds impact to each move you use. And what is even better is that you have 4 instruments to pick from. Each of course play with their own little gimmick. The acoustic guitar is the basic variant. It's very direct in dealing damage or protecting from it. The bass guitar has the gimmick of building up a slap counter to increase damage. The synthesizer is all about using buffs and debuffs to win combat, and the heavy metal 8-string guitar is all about dealing damage to yourself, but dealing even bigger damage to the enemy. And to top it off, each of them comes with their own background song. This really stimulated swapping regularly between instruments to keep combat feel fresh and different. And I want to say almost of course, all these songs are absolute bangers. Of course here the required jokes and references can also be found, and I especially love the way each instrument had its own character. Like, I really love the synthesizer being somewhat of a retro skateboard and using a lot of cables in its attack. And the 8-string guitar truly topped off all the jokes of this game, as it was literally summoned from hell itself and could even summon the demon into the world to deal damage, because, you know, heavy metal is devil worshipping music. And even when you get into the situation that any of the instruments feel very repetitive, you can unlock new riffs and upgrade them to be more effective or to extend their gimmick. There is, however, one very big issue that I have with this combat system and the entire game for that matter. But that is a very luxurious one. That being that the game is too damn short. I wanted more. I truly need more of this. The game is only 7 hours long, and that includes perfecting it. Now, in today's gaming world, there are a lot of people that care for the length of their games, which is fair to a degree. It's only logical that you want a certain amount of content out of a product you pay for, especially now that the prices ramp up, but the quality lags behind. So 15 euros for a 7-hour experience sound not that bad, but not great either. However, I would argue that the 7 hours Fretless offer are 7 great hours of gaming. It has no dead moments, boring grinds, or any annoyances. It was fun, good and enjoyable from start to finish, and I honestly rather have that than a game that takes me 100 hours to complete, where not even 1/8 of that playtime is actually that really good or memorable. Maybe there could have been a mode or something that pushed this whole deck building aspect to its limits, or something along the lines of side quests or something, but in reality it's not a requirement for the game to work as it does right now. And as it works right now, it's a damn good game. It's short, sweet, awesome experience that I absolutely loved from start to finish. It took music as a theme and molded it into a fine, decent story, a great immersive world, and a combat system that is fun and satisfying to use. Especially its under the surface rhythm game that it applies when attacking. This game is packed with a lot of character and the entire atmosphere is very cozy. The jokes and reference are a little bit selective and some are very corny, but as mentioned before, the entire game does not depend on you getting them, so they will not get in your way, and if you like them, you will have a good laugh or two here and there. If you're looking for a little but short turn-based adventure game, then Fretless The Wrath of Riffson is a game for you. Its default price is not that high, and the game you're getting for it is definitely quality over quantity. Also, be sure to pick up the soundtrack while you're at it, cause the music in this game is so good. If you're still in doubt, don't worry, the game does have a demo, so you could see for yourself if the game is something for you. In any case, if you are interested in the game, I highly recommend checking it out.